Okay, guys, here's part two, where I kind of made sure I'm not sweating as much as part one. I got my water here. Part two. I'm preparing because this is going to be the miscarriages that I talk about. I really hope I don't cry. It's okay if I cry, but like, I really don't want to because I'm already like sweating. So, okay. My first miscarriage. That happened November 17th of 2022. Matt and I, like I said, we had started in August of 2022. And at that time, we were like not planning as we're planning now to, baby dance and make love, right? It was just like, all right, we're just going to have like unprotected sex whenever, whenever. We were not planning anything. And so October came around and we got pregnant. We had our first positive together and we were just so happy. I mean, we were happy every single time, but like our first positive pregnancy test together was really just magical. And we were so happy. Matt was so sweet. He was like wanting to protect me at all costs. He like wanted to put me in a bubble. It was just adorable. And so it was a really early loss, obviously, because November 17th. So we found out we were pregnant, or we got pregnant shortly after we had COVID. We had COVID for the first time since the pandemic in the beginning of October of 2022. Okay, guys? So that's not the only reason. That's not the only reason I miscarried, but that was one of the big reasons, was because COVID destroyed my immune system. I guess I'm just going to put it out there right now. My immune system was shot. So we got COVID, and then we tried in the middle of October, and then got the positive. So super happy, super excited. And then November comes around. I can't tell you the exact dates just because I can't remember, but early November, mid-November, I remember going to the bathroom. Oh, that's where it always starts, like awful, so much anxiety going to the bathroom. And I remember seeing a little bit of spotting, not a lot, just a little bit, tiny bit, like, I don't even know, not even like a penny, just a little bit. And it was darker. And I kind of noted that, and I was like, oh, that's strange. Like, I don't remember that in, my pregnancy with Luke, which was healthy for the most part. No issues getting pregnant with him, So I kind of ignored it. I was like, well, it's normal. Like a little bit of spotting is normal. And then the second day, it was a little bit more. And then I decided that, okay, I have to tell Matt. But I remember I told him in like kind of a nonchalant way. I just didn't want to worry him. And I was like, yeah, I noticed a bit of spotting. It's probably nothing, but maybe I'll get it checked out soon, in a day or two, And he was like, okay, yeah, sounds good, babe, So I remember maybe like 3 or 4 days later, I made the appointment for an ultrasound. They did a vaginal ultrasound because I was so early on. And Matt was there with me, and, she started doing her thing, and we were looking at the scan, and she was like, oh, well, I see the sac, but I don't see an embryo. And she was like, but that's okay. Like you from what you're telling me, you are really early on, so don't worry about it. Like she was really, you know, trying to be calming and sweet. And I remember when she took out the wand, um, I saw the blood, and it was a lot more. It was more purpley, um, and I remember looking at it, and I was like, why is there so much blood? What the hell is that? What is that? What's going on? Guys, miscarriage, like I feel like this is probably many women, miscarriage was not on my radar at all. Like I knew it happened. Like I had been working in the breastfeeding community at that point for years, many years, but you just don't think it's going to happen to you. So we saw the blood. We left, and then I started to bleed more and more. And at that time, I just knew I was miscarrying. I had contacted my primary doctor. He talked to me about, you know, he was just like, listen, you're probably miscarrying, but if things get worse, symptoms get worse, please go to the hospital. And that was it. That was it. And I was so, oh my God, anxiety ridden. I was like, my husband was amazing there for me. But I remember it, you know, when it was like full blown cramps and bleeding, I was just nervous about what was to come. I knew I wasn't going to die, but it felt like that. Like, oh my God. Oh man. Like what's going to happen? I do not know what to expect. And that's when I did the crazy Google searching for moms who have miscarried, and like videos of moms who've miscarried, and please God, I just need to see her. I need to hear her. And so that was the first one. And that sucked, man. Everyone sucked, but that sucked. And then I just felt lost. I was like, well, now what? Like I've gone through. Did you just hear the dog? I think the dog just farted. He definitely farted. We're going to keep this, you know, heavy, guys, heavy with talking about miscarriage, but also light, make you laugh a little bit. Oh my God, it smells. Yeah. Okay. Oh Lord. Okay. So yeah, I was really lost. It was right before Thanksgiving. At that point, I didn't tell anyone, no one. My husband, I think he did tell his brother, but that was it. And so the holidays, was right around the holidays. Thanksgiving came, and then December came. And in December, I was scheduled to, or no, it wasn't in December. No. It was November. I was scheduled to teach a breastfeeding class at this beautiful venue, Yogashala. And it, maybe a few days after I miscarried, I had to teach. And I remember I had to talk to the owner, my friend Mon. And I remember like feeling really nervous about telling her. I was like, oh gosh, she's gonna get mad. Like I have to cancel teaching. But I remember messaging her and I was like, I'm sorry, Mom. Like I'm going through a miscarriage. I know I have to teach. I really want to teach, but I'm not sure what's gonna happen. Like, right? Like you're always like, you just don't know. You don't know what's gonna happen. So that was basically what I was just telling her. I was like, I don't know how my body's going to take this. I don't know what's going to happen. So I have to cancel. I'm so sorry. And she, of course, was like, just super sweet and like understanding, and she was very sorry, and um, so we ended up canceling that class. And then I remember at that point I hadn't really like cried about the baby, losing the baby, but Mon had reached out and was like, listen, is there anything that I can do for you? What can I do for you? Can I please bring stuff to you? And I was like, oh yeah, like, yeah, you can come by. And, she's cool. Anyone who knows Mon, she's just like, she's just so cool. She's a yoga instructor, very connected to the earth, and she's just amazing light. And she brought me over like fresh vegetables and just nourishing things for my body. And I remember she came in and she just embraced me and she just hugged me. And it felt like a long time. And that's when I really like sobbed. I just started sobbing in her arms, and she started sobbing with me. And then she came in and sat on the couch. And I remember she was just there with me. She was just making space for me to listen to me and to allow me to cry. And in that moment, I was like, wow, this is what I needed. Okay, I'm not gonna cry. Don't cry, because like you're already sweating. But I was like, that's what I freaking needed. I needed to cry and grieve. Yeah, so that was an amazing moment between us. And so if you're watching this and you're going through it and you haven't cried yet or grieved yet, like not gonna push you, man, but it's really healing. Yeah, it's awful and sad, but there is healing in the grief, and acknowledging that you had the soul baby, and you still have the soul baby around you. That's what I believe. I believe that I believe in my soul babies are still here with me, and they're still trying to come through. But yeah, grieving really, there was healing in that. There was beauty in that. Oh my God, that's already 13 minutes for the first miscarriage, guys. So at that point, I hadn't reached out to any fertility doctors. I was just like Googling things. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, lots of women will miscarry in between and then go on to have a healthy pregnancy the next time. So, okay, let's just wait a little bit and try again. And that's what we did. So we had the awful sickness of COVID, guys, in October. And then we had an awful sickness in January, the norovirus, right? That awful stomach bug. But it was a really bad stomach bug. I remember like I was off for a whole week. My body was just not well. Like really bad. And February came along. We got pregnant, found out we were pregnant March 8th. And then March 10th, lost right away, went to the bathroom. And this time it was like very quick. The bleeding, it wasn't just spotting, it was like boom, like a rush, and the blood was bright red. And I remember screaming and screaming out, why? No, not again. Why is this happening? Being angry at God, being angry at even like I remember like my ancestors that were like gone. I was like yelling at them like, poor grandma. Like what? my great aunts that are gone. Like, man, oh no, why is this happening? Why'd you let this happen? Like, just really mad, really sad. Um, and that sucked because Matt was away at the time. And my husband, he's got, maybe I'll get into this like at another time, but I believe we all have a sixth sense. And Matt, he definitely has telepathic abilities. He will not openly talk about that, but he definitely has it. And he was thousands of miles away from me, guys, thousands. And I remember he was so excited, again, so excited to be pregnant. And when I knew we miscarried, I didn't want to tell him. I was like, no way, like he's away. I'm going to wait till he comes back home to tell him. We were texting, not even talking over the phone. And I remember him we were having a conversation about his day. How are things going? How's the weather over there? Like, whatever. And then he just straight out was like, do we still have the baby? I was like, oh my God, what? Why? What? Like, how is he just like saying that outright like that? And he just thousands of miles away sensed it and knew. It's the same way, like if I'm pregnant, he can tell if I'm pregnant, and women, like in general, he can tell if they're pregnant before they know they are. I'm telling you guys, it's a real gift that he has. He doesn't really, practice honing in on those skills, but he's got it. And so he just knew. He just freaking knew, man, that we miscarried. And then, of course, I was honest with him, and I was like, yeah, I bled a lot, and we miscarried again. So at that point, minute 17. Okay, I did say I wanted to keep these short, but, so maybe I'll just go into the second, and then the third one will be a whole other, or maybe I'll just keep going, I don't know. So at that point, I was like, okay, I need to reach out to a doctor. I don't know which doctor to reach out to, but I need to chat with the doctor. And I don't know how I came across her, but she is an OB and a high-risk OB. And I think, I don't know, I think I was just like, oh, okay, let me just reach out to her first. I got an appointment with her, and they did like very basic blood work on me. And I remember they were just like, this happens, it's not your fault. I'm sorry. But this is more common than you know. And I was like, yeah, I guess so. Why don't we talk about this more? Like, what the heck? So did basic blood work. I remember she was like, just for your next one, take baby aspirin. I don't work with her. She was very hyper. Take baby aspirin. And I was like, okay, all right. And then that was it. It was nothing else. She just said, like, if you have a third one, then, we'll do more blood work or whatever. Now I can look back in hindsight and go, dang, they should have checked more things. And not just when you miscarry, like you should have this blood work done even before you start trying. Like, it's so important to see the data and see where your health is. But so spoke with her, and then I remember at that time, I was a part of this like doula event. I'm not a doula, but I am an IBCLC, so I had my little table there. It was like a bunch of like vendors, like we weren't selling anything, but doulas with their tables, and IBCLCs, just birth workers in general. It was like this big event. And I remember coming across a classmate in high school, like, oh my God, 20 something years ago. And she is just, you know, like just sweet people. Like if it seems like, you know, they don't swear and like just, they're just always kind. She is one of those people, very kind, very sweet. And she had come up to me and I opened up with her. She's got like 8 kids now. She just had her 8th. And so at the event, I had opened up with her, to her about the 2 miscarriages. And she opened up about her miscarriages and her stillbirth, which is awful. And she told me the doctor, fertility doctor, she was working with, just really highly recommended her. And I was like, okay, cool. You know, I'm gonna try to connect with her too, you know, because she's had so many successful pregnancies after working with her, after traumatic losses. And I mean, every loss is traumatic, but it's really awful, her stillbirth. And so I contacted this doctor. Maybe, I'm trying to think like the exact time frame. I think it was like end of March, early April. I contacted her, told her about the losses, and just said, yeah, I'm interested in just like getting more help and finding out what's going on. And she is what's known as like a functional fertility doctor, as opposed to like the conventional fertility doctors. So more functional is more on the holistic side of things. They are really interested in getting down to the root cause of what's going on, and it's not just pushing, you know, unfortunately conventional will push kind of IVF and things like that. And the functional fertility doctors, they're the ones that I love working with and finding out the root causes of what's going on. So connected with her, and she immediately already started me on supplements. I think maybe 2 new supplements, kind of eased into things. And she was like, all right, we're gonna get more blood work done, and you know, we're gonna see this through. We're gonna get you pregnant and have the baby stay. Work on that. And then literally 2 weeks later, so we're in April now, mid-April, we got pregnant again. Quick. And I was like, we're pregnant again. She was like, oh, okay. Like, that was quick. And she was like, okay, I want to, you know, test, you know, HCG and progesterone levels, estrogen, all that stuff. And I was like, okay, all right. So our 3rd miscarriage, that baby, our little soul baby, our little bean, stuck around longer. I think the baby, so my body carried on for 8 weeks, but the baby stopped growing at 5.5 weeks. So Matt and I had, we were seeing this fertility doctor, but I had also connected with a new obstetrician, farther away. So we had our first ultrasound with the OB, and again, it was our first one. The baby was 5.5 weeks along and no heartbeat yet, but we could see our little baby bean. And I should have the picture to show you. I'll show you next time. Yeah, we were really excited and happy, and we shared the news with our family and close friends. And again, just a blissful, joyful time. And that day was the day the baby also stopped growing. So we had scheduled an ultrasound 2 weeks later, and so like 7 week mark, and my God, that was awful, guys, awful. It was my dad's birthday, June 9th. She went to scan me we're still doing vaginal ultrasounds because I am early on, so she's checking, and the room just went freaking silent, and Matt and I are just looking at her. And that morning I had a feeling too, and I told Matt, I was like, I just hope the baby didn't stop growing. And he was like, no, of course not. No, baby's still growing, of course. And she was just like, oh, I'm so sorry. The baby hasn't grown since. And she went right into, this is what we call a missed miscarriage. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And I was like, what? What? And I was just in shock, like, no way. No way. A third time? No. No. And I was like, I was just in disbelief and shock, guys. So she was like, yep, this is a miscarriage. I'm sorry. I'm gonna let you, clean up here, and then we'll meet you in another room with the doctor or the midwife. And she left the room, and I got up slowly, and then I just started sobbing, like sobbing loud. And my husband just came up behind me, and he just held me and hugged me and said he loved me. And it was just awful moment, but like just what I needed was to be held by my husband in that moment, because whoa, you're just not expecting that. You're expecting like good news at the end of the day. My dad's birthday, I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna go home, have a new picture, and nope. So I went into another room. They gave me a tissue box because I was just losing my mind. And the midwife came in, and she was like, I'm so sorry. She was very quick, though. You could tell, like, she had other patients to see. And she was like, okay, here are your options. These are the ways to abort and get things moving quicker. And I was just like, no. Like, I need time to process. I want a second opinion. Like, I was really, in denial at that point. And yeah, really in denial. Didn't want to believe it. So I think I'll do a part 3, just more about that experience and the third miscarriage, because I feel like the third one was a little bit more. So thank you again, guys, for joining me here in this space. I'm wishing you all the best too, if you're going through a similar journey. I'm so sorry you're going through it. But we're going through it together, and I'm hopeful we will get through this together. Bye for now.